Channel Japan. I'm Maki Arai.
And I'm Makiko Tsuda.
Every week we bring you the freshest information out of Japan, right here from a studio in Tokyo.
From the economy, culture and even foods, if you want to find out what's happening in Japan right now, this is where you'll find it.
Channel Japan Ranking.
First up is Channel Japan Ranking, in which we rank the hottest products and services in the country. Today's theme is pets in Japan.
Yes. Now, we have some data over here. It's data from the Japan Pet Food Association, and according to their estimate, there are about 11.5 million dogs and nearly 10 million cats that are raised as pets in Japan. And the total of this number exceeds the number of children in Japan, or the population of under 15 years of age, which is about 16.5 million. So there are more cats and dogs being raised.
Well, I see many people walking their pets, but that number is remarkable.
It really is. Now, currently the pet and pet-related markets are said to bring in $10 billion every year, and they're expected to grow even more in the future. Here's a ranking of some of the services that people spend a lot of money on. At the top, obviously, comes food, and then there's healthcare, grooming and beauty products and services, household goods and clothing and accessories. So it's basically pretty similar to some of the things that you'd probably spend money on for your children.
Yes. Well, I see how food costs will come in at the first place, but this ranking really shows how owners spend a lot of their money on their health of their pets.
You can say that.
Well, with the current circumstances, the need for a doctor to make house calls for pets is increasing as well. And so today we focus on a house call vet. Take a look.
Late at night, as his neighbours start to end their day and the neighbourhood becomes quiet, one man leaves his house carrying a silver roller bag and heads towards the city. Hideki Umehara is one of the very few veterinarians in Tokyo specialising in night visits. He arrives 40 minutes after leaving his house. Carrying his roller bag containing all the medical equipment, he heads towards the apartment where the patient awaits. The person who requested a night visit is a young single woman. She says that her hamster has stopped moving. Umehara takes the cage apart and coaxes the hamster out.
はい、出てきた。一回ちょっと持っていただいていいですか。はい。
The owner's long nails are covered with decorative nail art.
お仕事されてるんですか？
お仕事。あ、キャバクラ。
She's usually at work at this time of the night, but today is her day off, and she happened to notice something wrong with her hamster.
出てきちゃうんです。大丈夫です。はい。
As Umehara starts examining the hamster, he notices that its left ear is red and swollen.
もし診断つけるとしたら、もう外耳炎なんですね。外耳炎なんですよ。だんだんこうかいてるうちに皮膚のコンディションがどんどん悪化してくるんですよね。でまたさらにかいてっていうもう悪循環に入っちゃってる可能性があるんですね。
Umehara's prognosis: a severe case of external otitis. He puts some ointment around the ear to prevent it from getting any worse.
この子、痛いね。痛いね。大丈夫。
はい、あと。
The hamster is put back into its cage.
ちょっと元気になった感じですかね。
元気になった？早い。速攻性。
As Umehara was ending the examination, he receives another call.
はい。はい。もしご希望であればこれからお伺いして往診専門の病院なんですね。なんで部屋で飼い主さんとご一緒に治療させていただきます。
This next call seems urgent. Umehara decides to make his way there after he finishes the hamster's examination. The examination fee for the hamster, including the extra night visit fee, amounts to $231 US.
ちょうどですね。ちょうどじゃあ2万2000円ですね。お預かりいたします。はい。
こういうのもあるんだみたいな、この子的にもストレスもあんまり与えなくて済むし、なんかいいですよね、なんか来てくれるのって。
おやすみなさい、失礼します。
He starts work around 8 p.m. when animal hospitals usually start to close and ends at 5 a.m. the following morning.
かかりつけの先生の方でね、最終的には診断と治療をしていただきたいんですけども、どうしてもいろんなご事情で、夜のうちに対応できない患者さんいらっしゃるので、できればいわゆるリリーフというか、中継ぎ的なですね、そういう、スタンスでやってます。
Umehara used to work at an animal hospital providing advanced and specialized medical treatment. His experience handling emergency cases made him realize the importance of night visits.
すべての方が病院に来院できるわけじゃないんですね。やはり、場所が離れていたりとか、あと移動手段がないとかですね、そういう状況を何年間か目の当たりにしてですね、今までだったら諦めてしまってた飼い主さんたちのためにですね、何かお力になれないかなと思って。
He went independent in December 2011 and is now a veterinarian specializing in night visits. His silver roller bag is packed with all the necessary medical equipment.
これは静脈を使った点滴をする際に使う点滴装置ですね。で見眼鏡、耳の中とか目ですね。あと場合によっては動物の場合口の中を見る場合もありますけども、そういった時に使う装置です。モバイルの超音波装置。外側からではわからないですね、内部臓器の状態を確認するために使う装置です。
In a year and a half, Umehara has made almost 1,000 night visits. 70% of his patients are cats and dogs. The people who call him are those who don't have any means of transportation at night. Recently, Umehara has also examined small animals, such as birds, guinea pigs, and hamsters. The most unusual pet he has examined is...
一時かなり流行ったウーパールーパー、なかなか沈んでいけないっていうですね、症状だったんですけども、胃腸にガスが溜まってしまって浮かんでしまっている病気だったので、それを改善して差し上げるような治療をしてですね、開始しました。
Umehara is on his way to see a dog that he has examined 4 times in the past.
かなり状態悪くなった経緯がある子なんですね。なのでちょっと心配ですね。こんばんは。お待たせいたしました。
Hanako, 11 years old, has major heart disease. The last few times he examined her, there seemed to be an excess amount of blood built up around her heart, so Umehara took it out with an injection.
もう本当にこの子の場合は最初の時来てもらえなかったら死んでたんです。1ヶ月以上前に。
First, Umehara listens to her heart with a stethoscope. Then he uses the ultrasound to check for the build-up of fluid around the heart.
心水は今日は大丈夫だと思いますね。よ
かった。
In addition to her heart disease, Hanako has what seems to be some malignant tumours. However, in her condition, an operation may shorten her life.
心臓で死ぬかがんで死ぬかっていうことになるので、もうちょっと 直接的な手術はやめようっていうことにはなったんですけど。
Hanako's owners have already spent about $7,100 on medical treatment and hospital charges. They say they will continue to do anything to spend even just a day longer with Hanako.
あともうちょっと一緒にいられるね。
Umehara receives yet another call while he is examining Hanako.
はい、梅原動物病院です。はい。お邪魔いたしました。失礼いたします。お大事にどうぞ。
ありがとうございました。
11 p.m. After examining Hanako, he heads off to his next patient. It is midnight when he arrives at the pet owner's house. The person who called was this young woman.
仕事から帰ってきて見たらすごい血だらけになっちゃってて、こことかこことか体も結構下半身すごい真っ赤になってて。
There are numerous patches of blood. When the owner takes her hedgehog out of its cage,
血で赤くなっちゃってて洗ってないんで。
また出血しちゃった感じ。
かわいそう。よいしょよいしょ。
she has had this female hedgehog for 2 years now. Umehara tries to wipe the blood to check where it is bleeding from, but
丸まっちゃいますね。
緊張しますね。ごめんね。
the hedgehog is balling up. Umehara examines the body carefully, but he can't find any wounds. The possible causes:
膀胱炎で、要はおしっこが血が混じってるっていう時と、あと子宮の問題で、子宮からの出血っていうの可能性があるんですよね。
he examines the lower part of her stomach with the ultrasound.
子宮あるかな。拡張あるかな、子宮の。
The owner cannot take her to the vet for a while because of work, so Umehara prescribes some medication that will stop the bleeding.
持ち上げていただいて、で口の方に近づけて、それでちょんとつける感じ。
1日に3滴。
1日1回3滴で。1
回3滴で。
1日に2回。
2回。
だから1日6滴です。
わかりました。こうやって対応してもらえたのでよかったです。すぐ病院行けなかったので。
お邪魔しました。お大事にどうぞ。
ありがとうございます。
It is now 2 a.m. As he returns to his car, the phone rings again.
はい、梅原動物病院です。はい。もう本当に一晩中絶えずやはり往診の依頼はありますので。
昼夜逆転の生活が毎日続いているわけですよね。これご家族とかは
妻と2人暮らしですね。
奥様は何かおっしゃってますか？
まあそうですね。たまに時間作ってみたいなこと言われることありますけど、基本的には理解してくれてますから。はい。
Tonight, Umehara departs on his mission again, to save the lives of pets and to alleviate the owner's anxiety.
Well, it was surprising to see how busy a vet is during the night.
Isn't it? He really is a busy doctor.
Well, are there any other new pet-related businesses?
Now, recently an office offering legal assistance in Fukuoka, which is in western Japan, has been gaining attention for setting up trust funds for pets.
They deal in a trust fund for pets?
Yes.
So what exactly do they do?
Well, they manage a trust out of the pet owner's estate that will also help care for the pet in case something happens to the owner. And so by setting up a trust fund, the pet can be taken care of with a designated caretaker.
That's interesting. Well, that's it for Channel Japan Ranking. After the break, we'll be showing you a popular documentary program. Stay tuned.
How do we build sustainability into our relationship with Mother Earth? That's Kaiteki, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings. Mitsui & Company.
My parents work at a really great company, which makes cool computers and LCD TVs. Not only that, they build elevators for skyscrapers and zooming fast bullet trains. My mom designs the company's CT scan systems, which spot diseases. My dad develops power generation systems so people will have plenty of electricity. The company where my parents work is Toshiba.
Has anybody finished doing their pictures?
I have.
All around the world, Toshiba technology is hard at work, bringing smarter, faster, more sustainable development to life.
When I grow up, I want to work for people.
For a growing future, Toshiba.
Welcome to Tokyo Skytree. This is the grand panoramic view from 450 meters. Here you experience the unforgettable. Look, enjoy, be amazed, and be awestruck. That's what Tokyo Skytree is all about. Japan's latest landmark, Tokyo Skytree.
Sasuke, a new type of sports entertainment program conquering the world.
It's about human achievement and people's passions, and I think that relates to almost everybody.
From Japan to the world, Ninja Warrior, Tokyo Broadcasting System.
You're watching Channel Japan. In our next segment, we'll introduce you to some of our popular documentary programs. From Japanese Dream by TBS, today we focus on a plan that addresses global warming.
The Republic of Kiribati is a nation in the Pacific Ocean composed of many islands, and currently this nation is faced by the impact of the rise in sea level.
Most of the land of Kiribati are atolls or circular coral reefs that surround islands. And many of these atolls are low in elevation. It's said that more than half of Kiribati's landmass is at the risk of submerging in the future because of the rising sea levels.
To tackle this issue, one idea that has come up is to build a large floating city on the sea.
So today we follow the Green Float plan and the efforts behind this dream to bring it closer to reality. Take a look.
Waves surge up to the doorsteps of homes as this island in the Pacific Ocean is slowly consumed by rising sea levels. One man dreams of building a huge floating city on the tropical seas. His dream is to build the Green Float, a floating city that would stand 1,000 meters high in the middle of the equatorial ocean. 100,000 people would be able to live on these man-made islands. It's like a set straight out of a science fiction movie. Masaki Takeuchi is a businessman working to realize this dream.
待ったなしの手を打たなきゃいけないことだと思います。
An island nation is currently facing a crisis.
He's eating up like our land and it's getting smaller.
Takeuchi takes the idea to the nation's president.
赤道の太陽を最もうまく生かした。
We follow him as he shares the dream of an ecological city for the future.
I have a dream.
Located near the equator, the Republic of Kiribati is currently facing an imminent national crisis. This is Takeuchi's first trip to these islands. At first glance, this island looks tranquil and life seems to be going on as usual. However, the country's average height above sea level is only 1.5 meters. Due to rising sea levels associated with global warming, the landmass of their islands is slowly eroding. Palm trees across the island, bombarded with waves, are rotting one after another. Recently, drinkable well water has also become scarce.
これずっと飲んでると結構塩っぽいかもしれません。
Residents have begun to move inland as habitable land on the coast gradually disappears. In the future, it may be impossible for people to actually live on the island. The situation was much worse than Takeuchi had imagined.
怖いことですね。待ったなしの手を打たなきゃいけないことだと思います。
Takeuchi feels that this unprecedented project, a plan to build a large floating city on the ocean, could be a possible action plan to counter the effects of sea level change. The green float could house 100,000 people in the middle of the ocean. The diameter of each artificial floating island would be 3 kilometers and a tower 1,000 meters high with a residential area of 200 hectares would be built on it. The residential area would be at the top of the tower, where the temperature is cooler than at the bottom, where the plant-growing factories and rice fields are planned. The entire city would make use of cutting-edge technology, allowing residents to lead comfortable and healthy lives. The aim is to create a sea utopia. Construction of the green float is aimed to begin in 2030. Takeuchi wanted to share the vision of his dream with the children of Kiribati.
カムナ周り、私は日本からキリバスのためになる新しい町の提案をしに来ました。この町は10万人住めますけれども、海に浮いている町です。海の海面が上がってきても町もそのまま浮き上がります。ここでお米が取れます。世界で一つもないような最も環境に優しい都市を太平洋の海の上に作りたいと、これが私どもの願いです。この中ですね、中。
They showed a video rendering of the futuristic city to the children.
$10万人。タラ島の人たちの2倍。
Everyone, from family to friends, would be able to move in.
It's good. It's safe for people.
この子たちが大人になるときにはぜひ実現したいと思います。このチームに参加してもらいたいと思います。私たちがこれを
Takeuchi is conscious of the impact humans have on the global environment. He spent a long time considering, what can I do to make a difference?
今まで人間が犯してきた温暖化、あるいは生態系、食料の危機ということを自らの力でいい方向に持っていける新しい初めてのアイランドを作ると。
In order to realize his dream, Takeuchi is working out each issue. The green float would have a massive 1,000-meter tall building supported by a foundation 3 kilometers in diameter. Is it possible to float such a large structure safely?
浮かせるってこと自体は難しいことではないですね。つまり大型石油タンカーを1300隻こう並べたらですね、グリーンフロートと同じように浮くっていう意味では浮きます。その海の上の工場でですね、こういうセルを作っていってくっつけると。
First, a factory needs to be built out at sea. The factory produces hollow honeycomb-shaped concrete components that float. Then they are connected to build the foundation of the city. High waves will not affect the strong foundation. The city will not be at risk of tsunami as it will be far out in the sea. Another issue was finding strong, lightweight material for the 1,000-meter high tower. The massive floating city, Green Float. For a material to fit the large scale of this project, Takeuchi sought the advice of Professor Yoshihito Kawamura of Kumamoto University. Kawamura led the development of a new material, Kumadai non-flammable magnesium alloy. This magnesium alloy weighs only 1/4 that of steel and is 18 times stronger when compared with steel of the same weight. It also has a high ignition temperature. But there's another reason Takeuchi wants to use Kawamura's magnesium alloy in the construction of Green Float. The ocean has a massive supply of magnesium that can be extracted. Kawamura was fascinated by Takeuchi's plan.
とんでもないことを発想するなというのは思いましたけども、こういう一番のその目標が提示されれば、その問題解決もなんか一生懸命やればできるようになってくるんですよね。夢ではなくて実現可能な範囲だと思います。
Takeuchi gained a powerful supporter for the project.
植物質な都市というね。
Takeuchi is firmly set on creating a plant-like city that doesn't create a burden on the environment. The Green Float aims to be entirely self-sufficient by producing its own food. Takeuchi is focusing on an advanced plant-growing factory that doesn't use soil or pesticides for producing the city's supply of vegetables.
完全な水耕栽培ということで一切土を使わずに水に溶いた肥料ですね、そちらを溶液としてそれを使って野菜を育ててます。
So, what about the energy needed to support the population of 100,000? Takeuchi plans to implement space-based solar power generation, a system being researched by the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. It is said the system could generate power 24 hours a day and will use microwaves to transmit the energy to Earth. Construction for the Green Float is aimed to start in 2030. An elaborate scale model of the city has been completed. The significance of the project needs to be grasped by more people. On this day, Takeuchi spoke with 50 elementary and junior high school students.
地球温暖化っていう言葉を知っている人ってやめてください。今日は優秀ですね。 どんどん電気を使ったりガスを使ってますが、その影響は地球全体に影響します。
What did the children think of the project?
住んでみたい。あそこの一番上のところ。
CO2 を削減するためにお風呂の時にシャワーを使わないようにするとか、
こういう大きな夢は時間かかりますよね。世代を通じて、夢だったりビジョンを共有できる人とは共有していきたいと。医療ビジネスだとか。
Takeuchi believes that dreams can resonate with people of all ages. The rise in sea level is a serious situation in Kiribati. It is said that in the future, many of their islands will become uninhabitable. Takeuchi and his team took the concept of the green float to the president of Kiribati to see if their design could be a viable option for the island nation.
Nice to meet you.
What a pleasure indeed. Welcome to Kiribati. What a pleasure indeed. Please. Okay.
赤道の太陽を最もうまく生かした効率的な野菜を作る工場を考えています。
Okay.
そして新しいエネルギービジネス。ここでは宇宙で太陽光発電をしてそれをここで充電をすると、エネルギー供給センターにもなるということですね。
Takeuchi shared his dream with the president.
So I thank the president for this. I'm very hopeful that because this concept is something that's always in the background, I think. Very exciting. I think it's the science, technology, and human ingenuity at its highest, and I think this is where it should be directed.
Yes, thank you.
The president felt the green float concept could be considered as one of the options for the island's future. A dream that will resonate with all generations.
It's like good for the Kiribati. People can be alive in Kiribati. It's like new things.
Kawamura is looking forward to seeing Green Float make use of the Kumadai magnesium alloy.
竹内さん、とてつもない夢を見せてもらってます。グリーンフロート構想は自分のその材料の用途として非常に有望であるというのは最近分かってきました。で、私もその夢を目指して頑張りますので、竹内さんも夢の実現を目指して頑張ってください。
励ましていただいて、身の引き締まる思いですけれども、キリバスの生活感やコミュニティの良さを失わずにハイテクを入れていくっていう必要性を学ばせていただいたっていう、2030年ぐらいまでにやろうと思えば実現できるというレベルに行きたいなと思ってます。
Well, that was a fascinating project, but I am afraid the sea level rise will have serious effects all over the globe.
Many scientists believe global warming contributes to the sea level rising, and global warming leads to thermal expansion, meaning an increase in seawater temperature leads to an increase in water volume, and also glaciers melting contributes to the sea level rising, meaning the melted water flows into the sea, raising the level.
Yes, so I really look forward for measures against sea levels and global warming to evolve. Well, after the break, we'll be showing you an episode from a popular economics program, Gachiri Monday. Don't go away.
Mitsubishi Electric is helping to change the environment for the better around the world.
Green subway systems in India.
Green solar power systems in Singapore.
Sistem AC ramah lingkungan di Indonesia.
Eco changes for a greener tomorrow. Mitsubishi Electric.
Hey, look at this.
They're building a huge steel plant with Kobelco technology.
Kobelco? Never heard of it.
It's Japanese. They can make iron with incredible speed. What once took 8 hours can be done in just 10 minutes.
Wow, the Japanese are incredible. The country of karate.
Ha! 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 Karate has nothing to do with it.
True.
The talk of the world, Kobelco.
As the future evolves, Toyota is envisioning a more interconnected life where information and energy flow seamlessly throughout the globe. The road ahead will require diverse and eco-friendly mobility solutions. It is on this path that our small choices lead to big changes. Life. Connected. Toyota.
My parents work at a really great company, which makes cool computers and LCD TVs. Not only that, they build elevators for skyscrapers and zooming fast bullet trains. My mom designs the company's CT scan systems, which spot diseases. My dad develops power generation systems so people will have plenty of electricity. The company where my parents work is Toshiba.
Has anybody finished doing their pictures?
I have.
All around the world, Toshiba technology is hard at work, bringing smarter, faster, more sustainable development to life.
When I grow up, I want to work for people.
For a growing future, Toshiba.
Asia, the engine of the global economy. Japan, a regional powerhouse. And now, direct from Japan, economic news with a global impact in Chinese, delivered by Nikkei. Read the future, lead the economy. Nikkei, Japan's leading media for business.
You're watching Channel Japan. Next, we'll show you an episode from a popular Japanese economics program. Today, it's from Gatteri Monday by TBS. Today, we focus on industrial journals and newspapers. There are many newspapers here in Japan that publish information specific to a certain industry. Currently, it is said that there are about 2,000 such newspapers.
A huge number, and we've just to try to show you a few of them over here. But there's a wide variety of genres, and just to pick up a few: finance industries such as bank and insurance, automotive industries, electric industries, and some of the unique ones. This one says the ice cream paper, and this one focuses solely on bread. So they're just very wide selection.
Yes. So industrial newspapers publish very detailed information that I would never read about in general newspapers.
I would imagine so. And these papers print information about new technologies being developed or about new services. And it seems more people use them as a means to expand business opportunities.
And so today we feature 3 topics that the editors of industrial newspapers chose as the top news from the first half of 2013. This may lead you to see things from a different perspective. Take a look.
Today, we look at some trends that have made various industry headlines during the first half of 2013. First, we visited the headquarters of the Japan Food Journal in Shinbashi, Tokyo. The journal has a circulation of 94,500 copies, the largest of any food industry publication. We asked the journal's editor-in-chief what was the big story for the first half of 2013.
実はですね、北海道にホットなコンビニがあるんですよ。
So, we flew to Sapporo in Hokkaido Prefecture to ask people what springs to mind when they hear the words convenience store.
セイコーマート。ここはセイコーマート。
セイコーマートではないですね。はい。
For the people of Hokkaido, the words convenience store mean Seiko Mart. The company has 1,050 stores in the prefecture, making it Hokkaido's #1 convenience store chain. And according to the journal's chief editor, it offers a special service that no other store provides. Inside, it looks like any other convenience store. They seem to be emphasizing the words freshly cooked. What's going on? Let's ask a member of staff.
ここホットシェフの製造するところです。はい、そうです。
The service that other convenience stores don't provide is a fully equipped kitchen at the back of the store. It's called the Hot Chef. The secret to its popularity is that it offers customers freshly made boxed meals and other prepared food. Even deep-fried foods can be battered and fried on the spot. There are around 20 different dishes available in this store. All of them are prepared in the kitchen at the back of the same store. How many do they sell?
何食というか商品自体は全部合わせましたらやっぱり1000食以上は。
But why did this convenience store chain start providing this kind of service that's not usually offered by others?
北海道は広くてですね、郊外に行くと、セイコーマートしかないような、地域もございますので、そういったところだとなかなかやっぱり温かいものを食べるっていう場所がですね近くにないと。じゃあ我々が温かいものを提供しようと。
The service began as a trial in one store back in 1994. It proved so popular that today it's available at 770 out of Seiko Mart's 1,050 stores. The service is making the chain even more popular in Hokkaido. Next, we visited the headquarters of the monthly magazine Monthly Food Plant Manager. It's a specialist publication that focuses on only food factories. According to the editor-in-chief, the top news of the first half of 2013 was a product that is stretchy. To find out more, we headed to the factory of Tanaka Foods in Ibaraki Prefecture. And what is the stretchy product in question?
これです。これ？はい。これですね。何ですかそれ？これはチーズです。
The company has developed this stretchy cheese sauce that is thick and rich. It certainly does stretch. But cheese normally stretches when it's hot. So what's new about this development?
他のチーズですと温めた時は柔らかくて伸びるんですけれども、冷めると固まってしまうのが難点なんですけれども、こちらのチーズソースですと温めた時も冷めた時も同じように伸びるというのが一番の特徴ですね。
So its selling point is that it stretches like melted cheese even when cold. But exactly how different is it to other cheese? Let's compare it with another cheese at 23 degrees Celsius. The ordinary cheese on the right hardens and doesn't stretch at all, but the stretchy cheese gets longer and longer. The difference is obvious. When it went on sale in 2011, orders flooded in from food manufacturers. It seems there are more and more products containing cheese in supermarkets and convenience stores. Apparently, that's down to this stretchy cheese.
1ヶ月で約パンで換算しまして200万食の生産をやらせてもらってます。
Since the stretchy cheese sauce went on the market, its sales have soared. But why does it stretch even when cold? To find out, we visited the place where it's made. This is where the ingredients are mixed together.
何種類ぐらい使うんですか？材料としては21種類ぐらいを。はい。そうですね。
Mixing all 21 of the ingredients together creates this special viscosity. The details of the ingredients are a secret, but we got to see them on condition that we would not reveal their names. Apparently, salt and maltose are part of the ingredients, but it took a year to figure out the perfect mix of all 21. From here starts the most important part.
入れる順番も入れるそれを入れてからの時間も取り決めさせてもらって仕込んでおります。
The 21 ingredients to make this stretchy cheese are added in a particular order, in exact amounts, and using a particular timing. If the order or amounts are incorrect in any way, the cheese won't stretch. But where did this know-how come from?
我が社はもともとクリーム屋さんなんです。
クリーム屋さん。
はい。
The company's expertise is in making creams, such as custard and chocolate cream for the food industry. Its technology, such as for keeping cream soft in cold bread, or maintaining the texture of whipped cream while it's in the fridge, is top class. That's why it produced the cheese sauce that other companies cannot imitate. Next, we head to Tokyo's Chiyoda Ward. We visit the headquarters of Yuso Shimbun. This industrial newspaper covers distribution, such as the latest trucks, trends in the industry, and a column on roads. It specializes in everything about distribution. So what was the big news story for the first half of 2013, according to the experts on distribution?
吹田の方に、新駅ができました。で、こちらの駅というのが、27万平方メートルという、これ大きな駅ができたんですけれども。
So we drove to Suita City in Osaka Prefecture, where the new railway station has been built. When we arrived at our destination, we came to a gate that looks like a security checkpoint. We safely passed the gate, going under and out through a tunnel. We came to a huge space by the train tracks.
この駅はですね、ここに書いてあります通り、JR の中でも貨物輸送をですね、専門にした駅でございまして。
This station is used exclusively by freight trains. In other words, it's a railway station for the transportation of goods. Originally, this freight station was located in Umeda, the center of Osaka City, but it closed and relocated to Suita. It was then revamped as the Suita Freight Terminal. The most incredible thing about this station is the size.
東京品川間がすっぽりこの貨物駅の中に入ってしまうだけの非常に大きい駅です。
The distance between Tokyo and Shinagawa stations is 6.8 kilometers. The total length of this freight station is 7.2 kilometers. Size is very important for stations that are exclusively for freight. A station with a lot of length can accommodate longer freight trains. This allows for more goods to be transported at one time, and therefore increases efficiency. And there is some innovative freight technology in use here too.
このホームは E&A 方式っていうんですが、列車が入ってきまして、機関車をつけたまま荷物の取り下ろしができるんです。
Until now, when a freight train entered, there was a risk that the forklift used for lifting the containers would get tangled up with the electric cables above, so goods couldn't be loaded and unloaded on the spot. A diesel engine had to take the freight to an area without electric cables, so goods could be unloaded. But that used up a lot of time. At this station, the electric cables have been positioned about several tens of centimeters higher than usual. Now, loading and unloading is possible, even where there are electric cables. Working time has been reduced by 3 hours compared to the former station where the freight terminal used to be. And here is a new freight train.
名前を福山レールエクスプレスと申しまして、今回この駅の目玉の列車としてですね、運用を開始いたしました。
The freight train was a joint project between JR Freight and Fukuyama Transporting. The biggest difference between this freight train and others is the size of the containers it carries. A normal container is 3.7 meters long, but those on the Fukuyama Rail Express are 9.4 meters long, a size that fits perfectly on 10 metric ton trucks. Previously, 2 containers had to be unloaded onto each truck, but now only one needs to be unloaded as it fits perfectly. 40 empty trucks are waiting at Suita Station for the 20-car Fukuyama Rail Express to arrive from Tokyo. The containers are loaded onto the trucks one by one and taken to their destinations immediately. Transportation companies are also happy.
今までの梅田ターミナルでは、なかなかトラックが40台も入って、待機ができる場所、なかなか確保することが困難だと思うんですけど、今回の吹田ターミナルの移転に伴ってですね、それが十分可能になってきたと、今後どんどんといろいろとお願いしていきたいと思っています。
There's plenty of technical innovation at the Suita Freight Terminal. Definitely a place to keep an eye on.
Well, even if I don't work in the industries we just showed, the news sounded very interesting.
They did, didn't they? And also there's some other topics that attracted attention in their own industries. And for example, there's a newspaper in the processed marine products industry specializing in boiled or steamed fish paste products.
Just as an explanation to our viewers, in Japan we often eat steamed fish products like kamaboko and chikuwa, which are both made out of fish paste.
Yes, and they're very popular. And so the paper publishes the latest news on this fish paste product, and the editors chose the following as their top news. A high-end kamaboko received an award from the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries.
That sounds amazing. How special is this kamaboko?
Yes, well, there's this fish called hamo, or a dagger-toothed pike conger, and which in Japan can only be harvested in a certain part of the Seto Inland Sea in western Japan, and it's considered a luxury to eat hamo, and it's often served at fancy Japanese-style restaurants in Kyoto. And the product that received an award used an entire hamo, including the skin, to make the kamaboko.
Oh, So why would a kamaboko receive an award from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries?
Well, the hamo is known to have many, many small bones, and the Hamokawa kamaboko, the product that was developed, had the small bones removed by the skills of an artisan, and so its fine quality is what drew attention.
Well, I see that's something that probably won't be printed in general newspapers. And I think that maybe industrial journals and newspapers are useful in finding information that will also serve as a hint in starting new businesses. Well, that's it for this edition of Channel Japan. We have much more for you next week, so make sure you tune in.
Traditional.
Consistent.
Precise.
Speedy.
Professional. Innovative.
Polite. Quality from Japan. The best of business in Asia. SMBC, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
Sou uma pessoa comum. Eu gosto de apreciar todos os momentos do meu dia. Quanto isso pode me motivar? Como eu posso me manter focada? Tudo ao meu redor, incluindo os momentos do meu dia a dia, é o que eu preciso para me concentrar para a minha luta de 90 minutos. Quero dar esperança às pessoas. A better life, a better world.
Panasonic.
Trading card games transcend generations as well as borders. Trading card games will unite the world. However, the possibilities do not simply end there. Trading card games combine the different forms of entertainment, and fun will link the world as one. Bushiroad.
For Earth for Life, Kubota. One day has finished, and one new day has started on somewhere in the world. Kubota supports every moment somewhere out in the world. By the mechanization of agriculture, by the maintenance of water infrastructure, by the latest environmental engineering. We support a prosperous life for humans while protecting the environment of this beautiful Earth. Food, water, and the environment link the world. Kubota.
Channel Japan. Your source for the voices and views of people and businesses across Japan. The latest reports on Japanese companies, culture, and technology. Find out what's happening on the ground. Every week, direct from Tokyo, Channel Japan.
Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Maki Arai.
And I'm Maki